Come on, don't be ridiculous. If you're a left-wing activist, is defund the police working? No, you have to be Trumpian to say that it's working. It's obviously not only not working, counterproductive. We don't have the goddamn reform. We need the reform so desperately. And guys, I'm going to ask one more time, okay? Who votes on this crap? I didn't vote on it. Did you vote on it? It polls at like 3%. So, Ilhan Omar nearly lost her race because she actually was for defund the police. That one was.
All right, guys, so once again, we got to talk about a story that I think is a prime example of how to red pill a liberal or a progressive, which is to give them what they want. Give them what they want, because that's the only way that they will realize that the policies that they think they want aren't actually good policies. They lead to destruction. They lead to chaos. And that is what is happening in LA. It is nothing but chaos, right? And the reason why is because of left-wing progressive policies. Now, the story we want to talk about here today has to do with the founder of TYT, Cenk Uygur, who has signed up for all the insane progressive woke policies that are being pushed by the left, except they have done a 180 recently on the issue of crime and criminal justice reform, even going as far as to wave the white flag on the Democrats for the midterms, partially because of the Democrats and their abysmal record on the issue of crime.
It looks like Republicans are going to take the House. So now, second thing that's important, of course, is the policies and why it happened, right? So inflation is a giant part of it. I'm going to get to that in a second. But crime, here at TYT, we warned folks that this is going to be a big issue. And as always, they shot the messenger. So since we're the messenger, we get shot on a regular basis and from every quarter, right? So we've been calling out the right wing for 20 years straight. They've been shooting at us for 20 years straight. Then we call out establishment Democrats and they say, oh no, Hillary Clinton's got this. No, it's you messengers that are the problem. The American people love the establishment. Oops, we were right, they were wrong. They learned nothing from it. We said, don't do the Iraq war, we were right, they were wrong. I can give you dozens of examples. They never learned anything from it. What do? Shoot the messenger. And now the left wing is doing it. So the extreme left says, no, in the midst of an increase in crime, we should pretend that there isn't an increase in crime, and we should talk about absurd things like abolishing prisons. Okay, we told you that's not gonna play well. We were 100% right. And then they're like, no, it's okay. This problem will be solved if we just shoot the messenger. Okay, that's just not how it works.
Yeah, so that is Cenk Uygur going after the progressive left for endorsing insane criminal justice reform policies that have led to crime. Now, here's the thing. Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian have been the loudest about this at TYT. They live out in LA, or put it this way, they're in the area, okay? Because TYT, I believe, is based out of that area somewhere, right? So they have to live with the crime, okay? And the disaster that has become LA. And Cenk Uygur apparently has had enough of that. He's had enough of that, as he went on a Twitter rant that got him major backlash from the left over the trash and lawlessness that is rampant in the city of Los Angeles, right? He's had enough. So much so to the point where he is now essentially not endorsing the so-called progressive in the LA mayor race. And he is going with another candidate that actually before 5 minutes ago used to be a Republican. Again, not quite a red pill moment, but he's almost there, right? And he is receiving massive backlash from the woke revolutionaries over this. But before I get into it, I want to go ahead and show you guys a news clip to give you guys an idea on the mayor race going on in LA and one of the biggest issues that they're dealing with that is contributing to the crime, which is homelessness. Take a look.
Sparks flying tonight between the two candidates who want to be mayor. Time is running out and tensions were high between Congresswoman Karen Bass and businessman Rick Caruso.
It's time for the grand finale of the debate, and that's the closing statement.
Tonight, Congresswoman Karen Bass and developer Rick Caruso shared the stage for a debate, and that is about the only middle ground they found. KNX Radio hosted the contenders, who each started out with a familiar pitch to solve homelessness, whereas Caruso, if elected, plans to immediately build 30,000 short-term housing units. Bass thinks the issue needs a more long-term approach.
I do understand that people are fed up with this and they want folks off the street, but we have to make a commitment to actually solve homelessness, because if we do not, people will be right back out on the street again.
Panelists questioned Caruso as a candidate and a developer.
Why has affordable housing become a priority for you only now during the race for mayor?
Because it's the #1 job for the mayor. It hasn't been my career. If I would have focused on housing, I would have been building housing.
The two also discussed crime in the city and how to address it. Both support fully funding and restaffing the LAPD at a time when the criminal justice system is being reimagined, as is the trust between law enforcement and the communities they serve.
When I was the police commissioner with Bill Bratton and my fellow commissioners, we instituted community policing and SLOs, senior lead officers. We have to have officers walking a beat.
Not all communities want to see an increase in police presence. That is not a solution in a lot of communities. A lot of communities want to see a serious investment in crime prevention and intervention strategies.
Yeah, so as you saw there, okay, that's a little quick breakdown of the two candidates that are running to become the mayor of Poop Hole, LA. You have Karen Bass, who is a progressive, and then you have Rick Caruso, who used to be a Republican, but then became a Democrat. And Cenk Uygur basically name dropped and called out the progressive. He called out somebody on his own team for essentially being soft on crime and maintaining the status quo of LA, which again is to be a poop hole city. He says, quote, LA is a mess. There's trash all over the roads. Cops don't respond to calls. It's close to anarchy here. Is Garcetti already in Mumbai? Is anyone running the city? Karen Bass seems to be saying she's going to maintain the status quo. She knows how to work the system. No thanks. And then Cenk was asked, are you voting Caruso? He says, yes. Karen Bass's main message seems to be that she is an establishment Democrat, no interest, who thinks things in LA are generally fine. They're not, and will work the system better. The problem is the system. There is nothing but incompetence and corruption here. We need change. Again, who is running this city, guys? It ain't Republicans, right? There's not a Republican in sight that is running LA, right? The people that he's complaining about are his own people. They are Democrats and progressives. They're running that city. So somebody else responded to Cenk, Dante Atkins. He said, so you, who supposedly are a progressive and believe that every billionaire is a policy failure, are going to vote for a little Republican billionaire developer to run the second largest city in the country? Cenk says, I never said that about billionaires. You could fill a whole social media platform with false assumptions and lies about me. Karen Bass telling us that she's the better establishment Democrat is a horrible campaign strategy. Democratic leadership thinks it's never time for change. Now, the funny part about this, guys, is that it is very obvious what Cenk Uygur is trying to do here, because Karen Bass is a progressive. He would support somebody like her if LA was not a poop hole when it comes to homelessness and crime, which are a result of the progressive criminal justice reform policy. So in order to justify not voting for Karen Bass, because that is what his progressive base is going to do, that's who they all support, he has to come out here and to pretend like Karen Bass is somehow closer to the Democrat establishment than a guy who basically was a Republican and then became a Democrat. Okay, that's just simply not the case. Just be honest and upfront. Just say, hey, I don't care about all the other policies that progressive are pushing. They're so bad on criminal justice reform. They're so bad on crime that we can't have a city that's lawless. It doesn't matter what other policies you're pushing. If the city is lawless, there is no city, right? You don't have a city. Okay, but again, he's trying to do mental gymnastics instead of just coming out here and being straightforward about the issue with his own party is that they embrace cuckoo for cocoa puff policies. But again, it's his fault as well too, because he voted for this stuff. He says Karen Bass is going to do nothing for the poor and working class in LA. That's why I can't stand her. It's wealthy neolibs who don't have to deal with the deterioration of LA as they sit in their mansions and wag their finger at us for not kowtowing to the Democrat Party. There is this persistent irrationality in American politics that people assume you love the person you're voting for and think they're perfect. No, it just means they're better than your other choice. Why is this so hard for people to understand? It's an incredibly simple concept. Now, again, Karen Bass got an endorsement of Bernie Sanders. Who was Cenk all for? He was all for Bernie, right? He was all for Bernie. Now all of a sudden, Bernie and Bass, right? They're part of the Democrat establishment, right? Because they're not tough enough on crime for Cenk. Okay, he don't like that. Which again, I don't blame him, but I'm just saying he voted for this. He voted for this. Bernie and Bass believe in working within the Democratic Party system, and what has that gotten us? Nothing, nearly nothing. Just wall-to-wall corruption. Bernie said his friend Joe Biden would get us $15 hour minimum wage and much more. His friend screwed us, and he didn't say a word about it. Yeah. So again, Cenk has been so red-pilled by the crime and lawlessness in LA that he's attacking Bernie, right? He's attacking everybody. He's attacking everybody that's not tough on crime. But again, he's not all the way there yet because apparently, you know, the attack on democracy is what is keeping him, or part of the reason why he can't vote for Republicans. So let's read here. Republicans at national level are working to destroy democracy. So you'd be nuts to vote for any of them. But don't tell me Democrats have accomplished a lot. That's MAGA-like alternative reality. They could have ended gerrymandering and chose not to. Now democracy is nearly gone. Before all of the Democratic ass kissers tell me there was nothing they could do, look up facts. They made an exception to the filibusters to lift the debt ceiling because that affected their beloved stock market, but chose not to make an exception for voting rights. Yeah, so again, he buys into all the BS, right? All the BS from the Democrat Party, except the being soft on crime, okay? And he got massive backlash for endorsing Caruso, who again was once a Republican, right? And he just became a Democrat. So again, people say they're unfollowing him because of that endorsement. They say that Cenk is going Nazi over homelessness, just like Anna Kasparian. Jimmy Dore and Jackson Hinkle went Nazi over COVID. Which progressive content creator will go Nazi next? Again, don't you guys gotta love? You guys gotta love the far left woke revolutionaries. You gotta love how insane and out of touch they are. Okay, when one of their own actually has a little bit of common sense, right? That's in touch with reality just a little bit. He realizes that, you know what? No matter what else we believe in, if our city is lawless, it doesn't matter, right? Don't you love how they just turn on that person? Don't you love how they attack that person simply for just being in touch with reality? Just a little bit, right? Just a little bit. Which again, I can't really give Cenk and Anna Kasparian that much credit because again, they went along with this. They voted for this until they got what they voted for and they realized that, oh, this woke criminal justice reform stuff ain't all that fun when, you know, you can't go outside and even take a walk without worrying about getting robbed or mugged by some homeless man on the street that's just going to get arrested and then released, right? That's never going to spend a day in jail because of it. Again, in order to red pill a Democrat, you have to give them what they want. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.